Tony, I might throw to you about how can men become better allies to survivors of domestic and family violence and to people who are experiencing domestic and family violence?
So I think if men always imagine what it means for the women in their life, the girls and women, so, if they think of it as their mother or their daughter or their sister, that's a way to view the situation through the lens of how they would feel if it was someone that they loved and cared about. And that responding in the moment, being an active bystander, that example of what it looks like if you're in a social setting or in the workplace and the women around you of all ages are seeing that, and men are seeing that someone is standing up and not accepting that type of behavior like we've been talking about. And I think if you're in a position of leadership, to put it on the radar, bring it into the organization or the social circle, and let it be known that it's a priority and that it's not something to shy away from. It needs to be discussed. And people in leadership roles really have the ability to put it on the map, part of the work program, initiatives to tap into. And yeah, the understanding the drivers of violence against women is really important too. And I think for us as men, we can look at what those drivers are in particular and be aware of them. And then we can do the opposite to make sure that we're not playing a part in that, and we can help teach others in what that looks like.
Yeah.
And in the new Queensland plan for the primary prevention of violence against women, that's got some really clear drivers listed there. That's a really great reference document, is one to look at.
Yeah, great. That's a really good resource. And I might throw it to you, Mike, as someone in that senior leadership position. I guess what message would you give to some male leaders out there around advocating for change when it comes to domestic and family violence and how we support survivors?
Yeah, as a leader, it's fundamentally part of your responsibility. I think Tony hit the nail on the head that in saying that, though, as leaders, you need to be able to show genuine respect and listening. And not often enough, I think, has been, do we show our own vulnerability? And particularly in leadership roles. So I've spent a lot of time in a rank-based organisation, environmental services, and the rank can get in the way, the power of a role can get in the way, and the lack of vulnerability. And so from a personal leadership perspective, there's an authenticity component. And certainly, but beyond that, I think there's this fundamental responsibility. So for me personally, I'm a husband, I'm a father to 3 beautiful daughters. That comes with its own accountability to speak up and do what I can. But I'm a senior officer within an agency, and even in my current organisation as the Reconstruction Authority, that has at its core public safety. And so that's not just about disasters, that's fundamentally about end-to-end responsibilities. The sad fact is, when you have a disaster, we also see a spike in domestic and family violence. So part of my role and responsibility is to, we know that, so how are we going to prevent that? What actions are we going to? So we work with a whole lot of government departments and non-for-profit and charitable organisations to have really active programs in the lead into and certainly immediately post disaster events, but fundamentally for the workforce, being visible, being present, and almost trying to normalise that conversation. If you can normalise it, you don't want to normalise it in one sense, but make it comfortable that it is a conversation that should be recurring within the organisation, and that other men in the organisation can take it back within their teams.
Fantastic. Really good insight from speaking from that really senior leadership perspective, as I'm sure a lot of male leaders will be watching this as well and will take quite a lot away from that.